Hi all, it's me, Gemma. It's been a hot minute since I last made a video. I've not been watching booktube, I've not been reading fiction really, so I just haven't been in the mood. I've not been mentally well. Let's just say that. I've not been mentally well at all, and honestly socialising has been probably the absolute bottom of the scale of things that I want to do. So I wanted to sort of come back because I felt like I put a lot of work into my booktube channel, even though like not a lot of people watch it. I still enjoy doing it. So I wanted to make a little video for Non-Fiction November, in fact a couple of them. And the first one I'm going to do is on cookbooks because quite frankly I love food, and also I can't get behind ebook cookbooks. I've tried like fiction, non-fiction that's not cookbooks. I can happily read on my Kindle, and I've been really good about not bringing in a lot of physical books to the house, a lot of clutter and stuff like that. So, but I still can't do ebook cookbooks, maybe one day. So I'm going to start off with the most recent addition to my cookbook collection, and it's Cook As You Are by Ruby Tando. Now, this particular author was a guest on the Great British Bake Off a few years ago, but she's been writing a lot of columns, she's written a couple of books, everything like that since, and she really writes a lot about having a healthy relationship with food, not in the sense of healthy food and wellness, which a lot of people do, like Deliciously Ella and all that kind of stuff, but as in having a good mental relationship with food, which I really do appreciate. Now, this book is a bit different. It doesn't have any photographs for a start. It's all it's all these little illustrations, which is really great. And it's really set people who have a wide variety of cooking skill and a wide variety of desire to cook as well. So there's sections on, you know, when you don't have enough energy to cook anything out there. There's things if you're a little bit more adventurous. There's really basic cakes. I really have been enjoying this book so much. I can't even tell you. I've made the sour cream sponge cake, which is amazing, very light crumb, tastes amazing, so simple to make, thoroughly recommend. The gochujang potato hash, which is so tasty, the gnocchi with chili crisp and capers, and last night I made the miso leeks linguine, which was just so good as well. So I really think if you're starting out, if you don't really know what you're doing, or also if you don't have access to a lot of really fancy ingredients, you know, a lot of cookbooks don't take that into consideration, what you can actually get a hold of, and she really does in this book, which I really do appreciate. And there's a lot of boxes after it with how you can change it, how you can make it different if you want. And also at the back there is a really nice big long section on how to store things. So like if you make the pretzel sandwich loaf, how long it'll keep, if you want to freeze it, if it freezes. I think it's really good. I thoroughly recommend it, and I will be cooking the pretzel loaf today, and I will let you know how that goes. But I've not cooked anything from it so far that hasn't been, one, really easy to do in the sense of the instructions are really good, two, the ingredients I've mainly had, I've not really had to buy anything. I had to buy capers, that was it, because I have like gochujang and stuff in the house anyway. So yeah, I think it's like £12 as well, which is really good for a book that you'll get as much use out of, I think anyway. And then this one's a little bit out there. I watched Chernobyl and I fell down a little bit of a hole of Soviet Russian culture. I just wanted to know a little bit more. This book is CCCP Cookbook, True Stories of Soviet Cuisine by Olga and Pavel Sutkin. It's a really interesting little book. I mean, I'm probably never going to cook anything from it, to be quite frank. Some of it is just so like herring with garnish. I don't like fish, I'm sorry. But I really do love the history in it, the stories in it, and all the cultural surrounding of the food. It's not just here is a recipe for caviar and blini. It's here is a long couple of pages on the place of caviar and blini in society, who ate it, where did they get it from, why was it so popular. So I really liked this. It's a really cute little book as well. It looks good on my shelf, I'm going to say that. But if you're just interested in a specific period in food history, I thoroughly recommend it, and I enjoyed it, and I will keep it. Now this one is Judy Jew's Korean soul food, and I love Korean food. I'm going to be honest, it's my favourite probably of the sort of Asian cuisines. Like, I love Chinese. I mean, obviously there's so much variety all over the place, but I really just love the flavours in Korean food. I'm obsessed. It's like that TikTok sound. It's like, no, you don't understand. I'm obsessed. I am. The first thing I made out of this book was a Snickers version of hot dog. And hot dog are like Korean pancakes. They're quite chewy, quite crispy, and generally traditionally filled with something sweet. You can buy a hot dog mix on Amazon that has like a brown sugar jam that goes with it, but I made the hot dog ones here. I am also interested in making the short ribs. I haven't been able to get a hold of actual short ribs, which is annoying me. I also like the fusion recipe for like kimchi lamb tamales. I'm into it. There's also a kimchi macaroni cheese, kimchi pretzel bites. I'm obsessed. I love Korean food so much, and I love kimchi. I have been making my own kimchi. I've got a big fermentation jar that's full of Chinese cabbage kimchi that I put on anything I can get away with. My husband's getting a bit sick of me, I think, but one of my favourite lunches is actually the nongshim kimchi ramyun, and then I put fresh kimchi, well, not fresh, but you know what I mean, I put homemade kimchi in like spring onions and everything on the top. So I really do like this book. If you like Korean food and you're just looking for things with a bit of a twist, I thoroughly recommend it. And also it has some good sections on like process, and it does have a section on kimchi and various banchan, and the banchan are like little side dishes that they have with everything, and it's very delicious. So I really have enjoyed it. Now this one I have given away, I think like 4 or 5 copies to different people. It's An Everlasting Meal, Cooking with Economy and Grace by Tamar Adler, and this is less of a recipe book and more of a philosophy about food. If you've read any of Michael Pollan's books, then there's a similarity there. She writes a lot about being seasonal, being, you know, having an economy. I mean, it's entitled An Economy, and since I'm not wasting food, I really like it. And if you like M.K. Fisher, the food writer as well, like How to Eat a Wolf and things like that, very similar. In fact, I found M.K. Fisher through this book, and it's all as well. So it's a really great book on the philosophy of cooking, especially if you're a home cook. I think that is just looking to be a bit more in depth and maybe have a bit more of a philosophy behind what they eat. I got this as a present. I got an Amazon voucher, and this is what I bought. It's China, the cookbook, and it is by Kai Lam Chan and Diora Fong Chan, and it is in the feeding range of books. Now, if you've seen any of my videos about cooking before, you know I'm obsessed with the feeding range. I think they do amazing country specific and culture specific cookbooks. So I really wanted to pick this up because I love Chinese food as well. This one is a bit more filled with things that can at times be a bit less easy to do, because it's so regional. The Chinese cookery is so regional that some of it you're just maybe not going to be able to get a hold of unless you have like a really really good Chinese supermarket near you, and I am lucky because I do have a few different Chinese supermarkets near me. Matthew's Foods in Glasgow, they've got one in Glasgow, one in Dundee, have been great. Unfortunately, Cebu in Glasgow, the shelves have been really pretty bare, which is quite sad because I do like Cebu as well. But if you go to Matthew's Foods in Glasgow, you can get pretty much anything of these that I have looked at, and they will also like do cuts of meat and stuff for you as well. So I thoroughly recommend this. Again, it's the fading range. I mean, they're at all like 20 odd pound, you know, for a cookbook. And normally I would say I try and buy things not from Amazon, but in this instance I get it from Amazon because it's about 10 quid cheaper than buying it in person. Now this one, maybe I have mentioned this one before, but I'm going to mention it again. It's Every Grain of Rice by Fuchsia Dunlop, and it's simple Chinese home cooking, and it is a much more simplified version of the fading book. So if you don't maybe have as good access to ingredients, you can still probably cook most of this. So like things like mapo tofu, things like the stir fried celery. I mean, and I've also made the fish fragrant aubergine a few times, and I absolutely love it. My husband's not a ginormous fan, but I love it. And if you can get the Chinese aubergines, the little longer, thinner ones, I thoroughly recommend that. The skin is totally a different texture from the sort of European aubergine, so I recommend that. And just sections on noodles. One day I will try and make my own hand pulled noodles. I think it's called biang biang. I'm probably mispronouncing that, I apologise. I will look it up and I will pronounce it better in future. I also picked up dumplings and noodles, bao, gyoza, biang bang, ramen and everything in between, and this is by Pippa Middlehurst. I got this on a discount. One of the websites I sometimes buy ingredients from, Sous Chef. It had it on sale for like £13 and I'd seen it quite a few times, so I decided to pick it up. And you know, it's got a lot of different good recipes in it. It's not a specific cuisine. It covers like Japanese, Korean, Chinese. I mean, some really great stuff. Like I had always kind of wanted to try and make the Japanese omelette sandwich, the rainbow soba salad, and different kinds of ramen. Cold sesame noodles, if you've ever had them, are really great. I recommend them. I think this would also be a good book if you were starting out in different Asian cuisines, because it's got a lot of the things that generally you find in like restaurants in the UK, like Chinese or Japanese restaurants in the UK. So things that people would probably be a little bit more familiar with, and textures that people would be a little more familiar with, because I think sometimes in Chinese cooking there's that sort of glutinous texture that comes up in a lot of their cuisine that Western palates don't necessarily like. You know, like something like chicken feet. Like, I'd love to be that adventurous, but I can't face chicken feet. I'm sorry. So that is a little bit of cookbooks for no fiction, non-fiction November. I will also do another one which is different history, archaeology, all that kind of stuff, so look out for that one. But it's been nice chatting to everyone again, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.